Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all upcoming videos in the future. Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video we are bringing you today about Dragon Ball Super, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about a form that was introduced in kind of the kickoff to Dragon Ball Super, the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods film, and that is the ultimate form at the time, which exposed Goku to an entirely new realm of power known as the Super Saiyan God. And we're going to be discussing whether or not Super Saiyan God was wasted and has been wasted in Dragon Ball Super ever since. So today to join me is someone you all very well know by now, Geekdom101 himself, the most credible man on YouTube, or so he says.
Actually, I've never said that. Everybody else has said it, but I've actually never said that. But thank you for the kind words. It means a lot to me, seriously.
And if he has, he'll cover it up.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so Super Saiyan God was first introduced in the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie, and it really was introduced to kind of some mixed reception. A lot of people, when they first saw this Super Saiyan God form, they expected it to be like Super Saiyan 4, but kind of golden, basically. This big, jacked, kind of Ozaru-looking Goku that had his tail back, had his fur, that had the yellow aura. But then when we finally got to see Super Saiyan God, it was this skinny, red-headed, flame aura form, which looked like a skinnier, weaker version of Goku's base with Kaioken, kind of, or at least that's kind of what we thought at first. But as we saw it again in Dragon Ball Super, it kind of started to grow a little bit more on me in terms of the way it was designed and the way that it was being utilized. Now, Geekdom, how do you feel about Super Saiyan God in terms of the way it was introduced, and how did you feel about the design when you first saw it, and then I guess the longer that you got to see it in Dragon Ball Super?
Well, I actually did like it when it was in Battle of Gods. I actually really liked the form. I know some people actually, well, I mean, to be honest, when I first saw like the leak, because what happened was somebody took a picture in Toei Animation of one of the animators' doors. This was a long time ago. This is 2013 on Kanzenshu, if you were there, on the message board. And it's Goku with the red hair. And we're like, wait a minute, is that the form? Because they had kept it a secret for a long time. I initially was like, whoa, that's almost too simple. But when you see it in action, I like it.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that our buddy, our close, longtime personal friend Toyotaro may agree with us, because even though we've only seen Super Saiyan God in Battle of Gods the movie and in a few episodes of Super, and we've never seen it again, at least as of the recording of this video, Toyotaro has made an effort to bring this transformation back on 3 different occasions in the Dragon Ball Super manga. Well, the first one was the Resurrection F manga, where you see a brief glimpse of it. This was back in April of 2015. You saw a brief glimpse of Goku tapping into SS God. Then the second and third time are in the Dragon Ball Super manga, the first one being when Goku fought Hit. He went from yellow hair to red hair to finally the blue-haired form at the end, and he fought Hit with Super Saiyan God, and then God Blue or whatever. And then the third time is when Goku fought Trunks in that sparring match, and he knocked him out with one shot, tapping into Super Saiyan God. So Toyotaro has made an effort to bring this transformation back a lot, which I think, again, it's not wasted in the manga. I feel in the anime it probably is, because I really like this form, and the idea of Goku using this form as like a stepping stone to Blue is a cool idea, especially with what we know about the problems with Blue's stamina when he transformed. Yeah, it's one of those things where we've seen Goku tap into Super Saiyan 1 and 3 and even 2, even after he achieved the blue-haired form, and it's cool seeing them do these throwbacks, but I always thought it'd be better if we never saw SS 1, 2, and 3 ever again, and Goku just used red, then blue. I think it would have been cooler to have him use red in the Universal Tournament against hitting those guys. But again, that's not what we got. But I feel it would have been cooler to see that form come back, or maybe even see Vegeta use his version of the red-haired Super Saiyan form. So I like the transformation. I really do, and I kind of miss it. I do kind of miss it. The aura is awesome, and it just looks really like scary. You know what I mean? I like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Initially, I wasn't that warmed up to the idea idea of Super Saiyan God, or at least the way it was designed, but as we saw more and more of it in Dragon Ball Super, I was kind of disappointed to see it go and then never really return in the anime. But as you said, Toyotaro has brought it back a lot. The only thing I would have to say though about that is with the introduction of Super Saiyan Blue, it almost makes Super Saiyan God kind of moot and pointless as a result.
Agreed.
Because the fact that they already have this new form, which is even more powerful than Super Saiyan God, as said in the anime and the manga. I know a lot of people still disagree.
I don't know how you can still think that at this point, but some people do. You're right, some people do.
But the fact of the matter is, with the introduction of such new forms, especially in the anime, it has essentially made Super Saiyan God almost kind of pointless. I feel like when it comes to what is done in the anime, Super Saiyan God almost served as more of a temporary power-up to Goku and his base.
That's
so
right.
That now you could argue Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and of course Super Saiyan Blue are all above the level of power that Goku had as a Super Saiyan God when he fought Beerus, and basically his base now is Super Saiyan God.
So you think that Super Saiyan 1 in Super is stronger than Super Saiyan God now, in your opinion?
Using the anime and statements that they've made ever since the fight with Beerus, it's kind of implied, at least to me. Like, for example, when Goku fights Zamasu as a Super Saiyan 2, he's equating the fight to his fight against Beerus, and Beerus kind of at points makes it seem like almost Goku's base might be Super Saiyan God level. So in the anime, basically Goku has kind of made the transformation of Super Saiyan God almost pointless because he already has all that power within him, whereas in the manga, Super Saiyan God is still steps above Super Saiyan 3, and then Super Saiyan Blue is above that, so at least Super Saiyan God is still above the previous transformations, which I really feel that it should be because of how important it was with this new introduction of the God hierarchy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, as just a fan, I personally miss the design of that form. I like the way it looks, I like the aura, and I think it would have been awesome if we saw Goku fighting Frieza with Super Saiyan God first, and then the big surprise is I've gone further beyond, and then we see him go into blue. I think that would have been, I would love to see him go from red to blue. And in fact, if you play the Hyper Dragon Ball Z fan-made game, one of the cool things they did is that you actually see Goku go from red to blue in that version, and it looks so freaking cool. Shout outs to Bathlazar for programming that. And I would have loved to have seen that in the series, where when he fights, he goes red just naturally, and then he goes blue when he powers himself up. You know, I think that would have made more sense. I think that would have been a better way of going about it, but they didn't do that in the series, and who knows? Who really knows? But I think if you're going to put a gun to my head, I think yes, Super Saiyan God. It was not wasted at the time. So if all we had was just Battle of Gods, I would not say it was wasted potential. But with everything else that's gone on in Super, I do think that it needs to come back, and I wish it would. I wish we would see it just one more time. Maybe another character could have it. I know that in Heroes in Japan, they do have characters that have Super Saiyan God. So that's pretty cool, but I wish they would incorporate it more into the series. I wouldn't mind it if like a Gohan or somebody else did the ritual and they got it. I think it would be cool to do that. I don't know why they don't do it, but it would be cool.
Realistically, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, all the people who were part of the ritual who were Saiyans, even Pan could theoretically become a Super Saiyan God just because they're all pure of heart. So I don't really see why they don't just stand around for 6 hours or whatever it would take and just start transforming them all back to back into gods, and then I guess making them spar so they absorb into their bodies. But I feel like you mentioned earlier, a good way to implement Super Saiyan God again would be if they decide to use it as a stamina free or one that doesn't burn through stamina form, so that even though it's not as strong as Super Saiyan Blue, they could still use it and fight for much longer, and basically they win the fights because their opponent uses up so much energy fighting them that the Super Saiyan God proves that it's, you know, better durability or better versatility. Not to mention we saw Goku heal himself when he was a Super Saiyan God, and he never did it again in any other form. I don't know if that's intrinsically a part of the Super Saiyan God form or not, but just using it in like a more dynamic way would be interesting, but I'm not too sure if that's what Toei is kind of aiming for, or Akira Toriyama in this case.
I almost feel like they regret even using that form sometimes. I don't know for sure, but I feel like it comes off that way, you know what I mean?
The only thing I regret is them not just calling it Saiyan God and then calling Super Saiyan Blue Super Saiyan God.
Well, they weren't thinking about that back then, you know what I mean? They weren't thinking. Remember when Battle of Gods came out, Toriyama didn't even think about Resurrection F or Super. That wasn't even a thought back then. So just so everybody out there wonders, it just couldn't work out that way because we can't go back in time. At least not yet.
I mean, we all know Super Saiyan came about just because Toriyama was tired of filling in all the ink in Goku's hair, and he's just like,
it wasn't him. It was his inker. It was his assistant. He did it for him. Yeah, he got tired of his assistant filling in the hair. Yeah.
Oh, he's stronger now. Let's not bother filling in the hair.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah. So that's it, man.
Yeah, but let us know your own thoughts down below about whether or not you believe the Super Saiyan God form was wasted, and make sure to go over to Geekdom101's channel and check out the part 1 of this part 2 if you haven't already, which is, was Super Saiyan 3 wasted in the Dragon Ball franchise? And give him a subscribe because he makes some content I know you're going to enjoy. And as I always say, stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future. Special thanks in this video goes out to Christian Cotter, who made the thumbnail for this video, and it's an awesome thumbnail at that. Please make sure to go over to his Twitter and give him a follow, as well as checking out his portfolio and illustration website. The link to both is in the description below.
Wow, he's a puny. I don't like the form because he's puny and small. He has no arms. The triceps and the biceps are very small.
He's scrawnier than my grandmother, and she died in 1922.